this is something. It's a short one, so this I don't know how much reaction we're gonna get to it. But this is something I saw. This is actually an Asmond clip from a day ago. That this. I mean, the title says this is fucking insane, and it is. And you're gonna see why in a second. This is something that needs to be. This is something that should scare parents. 100% should scare parents right now.
Mom arrested after 10-year-old son walked to town by himself.
A mother facing jail time because her 10-year-old son walked into town by himself. She says she was annoyed that he didn't tell her where he was going, but insists that he was never in any danger. Then sheriff's deputies showed up at her home to arrest her. ABC's Andrew Fujii has the details.
Police body camera video shows the moment Brittany Patterson was arrested for letting her 10-year-old son walk into town by himself.
What am I under arrest for?
For reckless endangerment.
And how was...
And by the way, walking into town, in context here, was the distance of, like, 1 mile. That's what this walking into town is. It was like 1 mile this child walked. And so, just for your context of distance. So it's not like this kid walked like 10 miles to get to town. The kid literally walked like 1 mile.
What am I under arrest for?
For reckless endangerment.
And how was I recklessly endangering my child?
We're not talking about it.
On October 30th, Patterson...
Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that, Sheriff? Did you hear what he said? She was asking, how was I recklessly endangering? I'm gonna just play that again. She was asking for clarification. Like, how are you claiming that I recklessly endangered my child? Listen to what the male cop that's wearing this body cam, listen to what he says.
We're not talking about it.
On October 30th.
We're not talking about it. She's like, how was I recklessly endangering my child? We're not talking about it. We're just arresting you. What the actual fuck with that? Oh yeah. Oh, hell yes, Satanashi. Yeah, this is like, this is just fucking insanity. That, they're like, we're arresting you for child endangerment. How did I endanger my child? Well, we're not going to talk about that. Like, oh, number one, I hope these sheriffs no longer have a job after this. And number two, I hope she sues the fucking city and county into oblivion. Like, oh, and wait for it, it gets better.
Patterson said she took one of her children to the doctor. In the meantime, her son, Soren, who since turned 11, decided to walk less than a mile into town from their home in rural Mineral Bluff, Georgia. While out, Patterson got a call from the sheriff's department, worried that Soren was walking alone.
It's just a short walk from our house.
What
he knows
the
how to
fuck?
get home. He knows how to get there.
Authorities dropped Soren off at home.
Because, like, whenever I heard...
Yeah. Less than a mile. Less than a mile, he walked to town. They have a problem with the 10-year-old. They have a problem with the 10-year-old walking less than a mile. Why? Do they think he's 3? Like, at 10 years old, a child is capable of going places by himself. No. They said that since this incident has occurred, the kid has turned 11. He was 10 years old at the time of the incident. Since then, he has had a birthday and has turned 11. That's what they're talking about.
Authorities dropped Soren off at home.
Because, like, whenever I heard this story, I'm assuming they're, like, resisting arrest, or there's, like, a rap sheet of, like, this is, like, their 7th charge for this thing.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, call Army.
You're the mother. That's your responsibility.
Last time I checked, it wasn't illegal for a kid to walk to the store. So.
It is when they're 10 years old.
Patterson was...
Now, I gotta tell you, how many of y'all walk to the store at 10 years old or younger? I feel like this is so normal, and especially in Georgia.
Like, and here's my question is, okay, deputy, can you tell me how many children have you stopped walking the streets demanded identification to determine their age to make sure that they were not 10 years old. Like, any defense attorney is going to rip them the fuck apart. Then, hang on. Someone said something about, where was it? Who is it that posted something about the age of being under 12? Where was that? I saw that fly by in chat and missed it. Okay, Trish, I'll say that. Can you say it again? I can't find where you commented. Could you say that again? It's something about if they're under 12, they can't be alone. In Georgia, it's illegal to leave your child alone under the age of 12 is absolutely a reckless and dangerous charge. Drysel, is that leave at home alone? Or just they have to be... Or a child under the age of 12 can never leave the parent's side? That's like... are they talking about leaving the... Yes, left. Okay! So, Drysel, this was not at home. This was not at home. The child was not at home alone. Or wait, he might have been. Yeah, because she was taking their other child to the doctor. That's right. So he might have been. Fuck. This is just all sorts of fucked up. This is the legal system infantilizing people. It's literally infantilizing people. Yeah. But here's the thing. It may be a law, but these deputies have discretionary. These deputies 100% have discretion. They could have talked to this woman and said, listen, we received a complaint, because I'm guessing they responded to a complaint. So these deputies could have responded to the complaint, talked to this woman, and and the woman could have explained what happened. I was taking my other child to the doctor. My son went to the store, less than a mile down the road. He didn't tell me he was going. I was a bit annoyed by that, but he's gone there many times, and he's fine. And he knows the way to get there, and I trust him to be safe because he's done it before. These deputies 100% had the discretionary power to either say, cool, have a nice day, or cool, we don't want to be dicks or anything, but there is a law regarding this that says that a kid can't do this, but we don't want to hook you up on this or anything. So just please, be aware if we get a complaint about this, we may have to take action in the future. They could have done that. They could have talked to the woman and explained their position that it is technically against the law. We don't want to do this. So we're just going to basically give you essentially like a verbal warning to let you know that if we receive a complaint about it, we may have to take action next time. So you just please be aware of it. They decided to go with option number 3 and say, fuck you, we're arresting you. Because we're a bunch of power-tripped assholes. And this is how we get our rocks off. This guy, the sheriff that's wearing the body cam, the deputy wearing the body cam, probably goes home at night and beats off to the law book saying, yeah, I hooked someone up on this bullshit charge today. I put this guy in cuffs. Oh, God, yeah. That's what this fucking deputy probably does on a nightly fucking basis. Because he doesn't have, like, a legitimate life. Fucking hell, they're gonna get sued into fucking oblivion. And I can't wait for it.
Georgia, right? I mean, this isn't like upstate New York. What the hell?
Booked on suspicion of reckless conduct, a charge that could carry 1 year in jail.
Wow.
The warrant claiming she willingly and knowingly did endanger the bodily safety of her juvenile son. Authorities have offered to drop the charge if Patterson signs a safety plan that includes the use of a GPS tracker on her son's phone.
That's the other part. They tried to coerce her into getting the charges dropped by trying to force her to sign a safety plan and install a GPS tracker on her son's phone. Here is her response.
She refuses to sign it or admit to doing anything wrong.
Good. Fucking good. Based mom right there. Telling them, go fuck yourself. My son has proven himself to be responsible. I'm not going to put him on a fucking leash. Because your shit law can't keep up with the times, and your piece of shit deputies don't know how to do their job. She absolutely needs to fight them all the way and file a suit. And file a wrongful arrest suit. This is absolute fucking bullshit. This is the fucking the state of Georgia and whatever county they're in, literally trying to infantilize her son. Instead of like trying to educate these children and give them experience and let them grow up so they can be hopefully wise and productive members of society, they're trying to infantilize them. Saying, you can't go anywhere unless I have this GPS leash on you. Like, what the actual fuck? This is just... Oh, I'm fucking gobsmacked by just how insane this is.
He should not sign it. No way.
Agreeing that there was something unsafe about my home or something unsafe about my parental decisions, and I just don't believe that.
Brittany Patterson is out on bail, waiting
That's
to see if
crazy.
prosecutors will indict her on the reckless conduct charge.
What a massive waste of government money. This costs taxpayers probably a few $1,000s minimum. It's
not even so much a waste of government resources. It's not even a waste of government resources. This is basically actively trying to stop down on people's freedoms and people's rights. This is trying to keep the masses under the thumb of the government. That's what this is. Because again, these sheriffs, at least I think they were sheriffs. I don't think they were local law enforcement. I believe they were sheriffs. They didn't have to make this arrest. They have discretionary power. They have discretionary authority. There's no indication that this was a systematic problem with this family. From all accounts that we're hearing, this is a one-time thing. And they elected to arrest this woman. First time for this. And they refused to even talk to her. They were not interested in having a conversation. These deputies were not interested in having a conversation at all. They were so fucking arrest hungry. They probably wanted to slap the cuffs on her the moment she opened the door. You could tell, especially the male deputy, he did not give a fuck. He's not there to protect and serve. He's there because he wants to get his fucking rocks off, arresting people and throwing them in a cell. That deputy, the body cam footage deputy, doesn't care about protecting the citizenry. So, for the people of Georgia, if you live in this area, you need to start calling your sheriff. You need to start calling your fucking mayor. And you need to say that deputy needs to be relieved of duty. He is not there to protect and serve. He does not give a fuck about that. He only cares about throwing people in jail and doesn't care what for. He does not fucking care. He's not there to serve the public. He's there to play out his power trip fantasies. That's not someone you want carrying a badge or a fucking gun.
It's just so outrageous, because, at the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, this is probably just some, this is like her 7th charge of this or something like that, right? No. I feel like people like this, they're the reason why people hate police officers.
So he's a sheriff.
Most police...
Yeah, so anybody that watches my stream, anybody that watches my YouTube channel, I think this is Fannin County in Georgia? The Fannin County Sheriff. I think that's it. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. If you live in this county, You need to get on the phone to your sheriff. You need to get on the phone to your fucking mayor or your town council or whomever. You need to, and you need to tell them these 2 deputies should be relieved of duty. Tornado, Miranda rights do not need to be read at the time of arrest. They do not. That is a misconception. Miranda rights only need to be read to someone in custody if you're going to question them, beyond getting basic personal information for booking purposes. So TV shows always have them reading the Miranda rights as soon as they slap the cuffs on. That's not what happens. Miranda rights are typically read back at the station or sometimes in the squad car on the way if you are going to question a suspect in regards to the crime they have been committed, the crime that they're being arrested for. That is when Miranda rights have to be read. Typically speaking, most police departments, if it's investigative purpose, they will wait to read the Miranda rights because they're not asking them questions. They will wait to read the Miranda rights till they get them into the interrogation room, and then the first thing that the detective will say when they walk into the room is they will read them and have them sign a copy of the Miranda rights, then begin the questioning process. So it's only if you're going to question a suspect about the crime they're suspected of committing, that's when Miranda rights need to be read. If you're just like a patrol officer and you're not going to ask them any questions, then you're not going to ask them any questions about the crime that they're suspected of being and they're being charged with, then you don't have to read them the Miranda. And and no booking questions like your name, your address, date of birth, and stuff like that. That doesn't count as for Miranda stuff.
Officers don't act like this. I think that if you're not able to de-escalate a situation like this and you end up having to arrest a single mother, I feel like probably you shouldn't go out on patrol. Like, this is such a huge waste of government funds.
Yeah. Hang on.
Of government.
So yeah, the Fannett County, people who live in Fannett County, call your sheriffs, call your mayor, call your town council, whatever. These 2 deputies need to be relieved of duty. They absolutely need to be relieved of duty. Because obviously they are mentally and emotionally not capable of performing their duties humanely. They are not. They just proved it with this. And big shock that more and more and more of the populace in the United States will not cooperate with the police. This is why more and more of more people in the United States, if they see a cop, they go the other way. If they're questioned by a cop, they'll just say, I'm not talking to you. I'm not saying a fucking word to you. Even if it's like, hello. Like, people will not talk to cops. More and more people are not talking to cops anymore because of shit like this. This is why people, writ large, don't trust police anymore. Because of shit like this. They don't trust them. Because at the whim of the cop, you can get arrested and get your ass thrown in jail for absolute bullshit. And there's nothing you can do. You cannot protest it. If you try and fight back, if you think you're being arrested erroneously and try to fight back, you'll get shot. So people are done with the cops. They will not talk to them. They will not help them. Police officers, if you're trying to solve a crime and you're looking for witnesses to help, you think anybody's going to help you anymore? No. They're going to say, good luck. Not happening. You figure this out on your own, because I ain't helping you. Because the information I might give you, you might arrest me for. Hey, Alex? Okay, you say the way cops act is partially the way people act towards them is self-perpetuating situation? Explain this. The woman, they approached this woman with the intent to arrest her. They were not going to talk to her. They were not going to try and get her side. They had absolutely no intention of being understanding whatsoever. They showed up with the intent to arrest, and they didn't care about anything else. This woman asked, how was I endangering my son? The sheriff says, we're not talking about that. So no, that argument, in major cities, with, like, in major cities, okay, yeah, I can see it, like, in the ghetto areas and whatnot. I do get what you're saying there. I do get what you're saying there, like, in the inner cities where people are actively hostile because there's a lot of crime. They don't want to go to jail because they're actually doing legitimate crimes. That I get. That I understand where you're coming from on that. I do. And yes, there are departments that actually have a ticket quota. That has been known for decades. Yeah, in general, the problem is you can't do an in general on this anymore. You really can't. Yeah, cut. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I wish I was some kind of super genius where I could just, like, come up with some kind of silver bullet solution for this. But I'm just a stupid anime cat girl who can just basically point out what I'm seeing in front of me. And what I just saw is 2 sheriffs that should not carry a badge, and they damn sure shouldn't carry a fucking gun. That's all I can say. That's on this, cops across the country, that is a huge fucking issue. And people a hell of a lot smarter than me can figure that one out. This particular one? Yeah, I can call this one. These 2 sheriffs should not have their badge. They should be relieved of duty. They obviously do not have the proper mentality to serve the public. Because they're not serving the public. They're just getting their dicks and tits hard to do an arrest. And that's all they give a shit about. That's what I see from this. When you are saying we're not even going to talk about what, why we're arresting you, we're not, we're going to say you did this crime, and someone says, how, and the person in question says, how did I do that? And you go, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to arrest you. No. And I hope to God she beats the charge, she fights it every step of the way, and then she sues the fucking department into oblivion. Because that's the only way there's gonna be a change. That's the only way. Yeah. And yeah, Alex, that's what I was saying. You're talking about, like, in like major cities where high crime rates and people act aggressively towards the cops because they are doing crimes and they don't want to go to jail. Again, like I was saying earlier, different story, and I understand your point of view on that one. I do largely agree with it. I do, like in that. This is not a major city. This is a quieter area, maybe even suburban or rural area. They should have responded a hell of a lot more differently. Oh yeah, no, Alex, I got what you were saying earlier. I did. I understood where you were looking at, and you have excellent points there on what you were saying. This is the state, this is the state of where America has gone with this police force. And honestly, it's probably traveled up north too, in terms of this kind of situation with cops. I've heard many people in Canada saying they're not going to talk to the RCMP. That if the RCMP shows up at your door, don't open the fucking door, because the RCMP will try and stick their foot in the door jamb if you open the door, and try to pull some legal bullshit to force their way into their house and say, yeah, we had legal right to enter the house. So I've seen a lot of, like, postings online saying, don't open your door for any cops. If they show up at your door, talk to them through your door. Do not open it, because then if they try and force the door open, it's illegal search and seizure, and it's illegal entry. Yeah, this shit's in Canada too. And it's why people do not trust cops whatsoever, because you don't think that they don't trust that you're going to be treated fairly. Which is a really sad state of fucking affairs in North America.